Hey, today in Your Kiss from Kristin, I want to share with you some of the things that have been going on in my life, the lessons I've learned, and how you might be able to take my lessons and apply them to your life so that you don't have as much struggle. I think you'll be able to see your life in my situation, maybe not the same, but you'll be able to see yourself in the story. So I'm Kristin Wood, your favorite body wellness coach. And my thing is that I help women take the struggle out of weight loss. It's never just the food. It's never just the mindset. It's a combination. And that's where I get to help you with health coaching and life coaching. And for me, I found that the scale had started creeping up. It was just like 3 pounds that had went up and kind of plateaued. And then I noticed another 3 pounds. And I was like, okay, we are not plateauing here. I'm a body wellness coach. I'm supposed to have this figured out. And what I've realized is life happens. Life happens for all of us. It doesn't matter what your profession is, life happens. So there's a quote that I love. It sticks with me often. And it is that I am wildly curious about my potential and I'm fiercely committed to create it. So I had to start thinking about this quote. What is happening? And if I am wildly curious about my potential, what am I letting happen here? So I had to give myself a minute to stop and really get wildly curious. And I'm telling you, this isn't just a minute. It's going to take you several minutes. But I wanted to look and see what's changed. What am I doing differently than I was doing 6 months ago? What's going on here? And I noticed 2 things. The first thing that I noticed is stress. I was letting some situations that I have absolutely no control over to stress me. And I think there's a lot of us that do that. And stress plays a big factor in weight. So I had to come back to one question. Can I influence the outcome of this thought? And when I'm having the thoughts that I feel the stress coming up, and I can do it around any thought that I'm having where I'm trying to think of a solution, can I influence the outcome of this thought? If I can, then I need to get fiercely committed to create that outcome. If I can't, then I need to let it go. And I needed the reminder to let it go. Maybe you need that reminder too. It's good for me to stop every once in a while and just be like, no, seriously, Kristin, you need to let it go and just let God. That's what's going to happen in the long run. Get out of the way so that it can happen quicker. Can I influence the outcome of this thought? That is the question that I lean into several times a day to help me stop the stress, to take that away so that that's not influencing the scale. Now, the second thing that I found that I was doing differently is where I started having an abundance of situations where I was convincing myself that it was okay to do the lesser thing. And this looks like, should I have dessert tonight? Sure, you had a good day. Go ahead and have dessert. Should I have the second glass of wine? Well, you might not be drinking it tomorrow night, so go ahead and have a second glass tonight. All those little convincings started happening. And I noticed my portions were expanding a little bit. My freedom with splurging on a dessert or a special treat, a cheat, was becoming so frequent. It wasn't a cheat. It was me cheating on me. So I was like, okay, it's time to rein this back in a little bit. You know, when you get on that slippery slope of convincing, it's not a good place to be. And we do this all day, every day. Everything that's put in front of us is the should I, shouldn't I? Should I, shouldn't I? And too many times we let oh, it's okay. It's okay to do that now. You'll be better tomorrow. So I wanted to take the next away. There is no option of next. It is the one decision in front of me right now. And, you know, your choices matter. And to me, what matters, my weight and my wellness matters. I want it to fit in certain parameters. I want to be around. I want to feel good in my body. And my choices were not putting me on a path to have that. So to rein it back in for me, I brought it back to one question. Am I hungry? Anytime there is food involved, the question is, am I hungry? Now, if the answer is yes, then I can eat. And I don't know where you're at with your diet right now, but mine is I'm pretty focused on whole foods. So as long as I'm focused on whole foods, I don't have to worry about, you know, calories and points. But even if you're looking at whole foods, you can eat too much. You can be taking in too many calories. And then plus the treats are not always whole foods. So for me, it's, am I hungry? And then I don't focus on anything else. If I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm not, I don't. Now, your critter may flare up here because I know mine does. But it's like, well, what if that's my favorite? What if it looks really yummy? What if it's Thanksgiving? You know, all these questions. Well, what if? What if? What if? No, it's the one question in front of you right now. If you are deciding that you are not having dessert right now, you are not deciding that you are not having dessert tomorrow, that you're not having dessert ever again. You are just deciding on the now. And just because you're not hungry now doesn't mean that you can't make a to-go box, save some back for when you are hungry. But it's the eating constantly when we're not hungry that really has a not good effect on the weight. So looking at, am I hungry? And if I am, I get to eat. If I'm not, then it's not for right now. It's a yes or no question. There is no next. There is no convincing. It's yes or no. If I hear myself say, oh, but that looks yummy, that's convincing. I know right away it's not a yes, it's not a no, it's convincing. And I'm not doing that. That's not where I'm at right now. Right now, I want a yes or a no. So is that something that you can look at making extremely simple? Being fiercely committed to keeping it super simple. It literally can be that simple. Am I hungry? 3 words. Yes or no. No convincing. If you're hungry, you eat. If you're not, you don't. That doesn't mean that in an hour, you're not going to be hungry and you might not make that choice. It just means right now, in this choice, you're not making that choice. Now, what I've seen from just implementing these two things for a couple weeks, my weight's going back down much faster than I would have expected from years in my history. It's just getting things back on track. It's refocusing. And it started because I got wildly curious about what is going on. So I want to challenge you. Can you get wildly curious with yourself? And when you find something in that curiosity, can you be fiercely committed? And I feel like this is what I help my clients do. I help them get wildly curious because it's not always easy to do on your own. You know, you may get sidetracked with other things, but we need to get wildly curious. And then to help them be fiercely committed to creating what they're looking for. And I love this quote because you can use it for weight loss. You can use it for your career, for your family, for your spirituality. It can be in all the areas of your life. And it comes down to just one thing. Just do one thing. Now, I shared two things that I found, but I brought them down to one question in each. And I encourage you, if you sit down and you're like, yes, I'm going to get wildly curious, and you come up with some things, limit it. Limit it to no more than 3 that you want to focus on, and start there. The reason we don't want to overcomplicate it is because when you make one change, other things just naturally happen. But if you're focusing on one, you can be fiercely committed to just making that one thing happen. And then other things start to happen just naturally. And they don't have to be in your sightline all the time. So I hope you get some value out of this. I hope you can see something in my story that when things aren't right, sit down, stop, and get wildly curious about what's going on, and then be fiercely committed to make a change and create what you want.